Help support the companies that support our community. All right, this is a piece of silver maple. So there is a little lot across the street from us that this beautiful 100-plus-year-old silver maple was, and they're going to stuff 9 apartment buildings over there. Don't even get me started on them trying to overpopulate our little town, but another video for that. Anyway, when they were cutting it down, I ran over there and asked them for some of the wood, and they set aside about 7 limbs for me. So I'm just getting it processed up here. So right here I'm just taking the heart out of these smaller pieces, and I will seal up the ends of it and try and get those dry to make boxes or something out of. And then I got a couple of bowl blanks out of it as well. So after I got it cut up, I went ahead and put it in this piece here into some plastic bags, and that will stop it from cracking right away. So the one we're going to use today, I'm just unwrapping it, and we'll get it put right on the lathe. It was only cut down just about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks ago. So I'm going to go ahead and get it centered up the best I can here on the lathe, and we will start working on it. So I'm going to start from the bottom. It's not exactly true. So just start from the bottom, work your way up. It's a little less hard on your body if you're coming in from the bottom of it. If you were coming in from the side of it, it will beat you up a little bit more. So coming from the bottom and just try and get it true. And then once you get it true, then you can start shaping it. And I have the lathe speed here, probably 800 or so, and I'm using a bowl gouge. So I'm going to start shaping the outside of it. And so on this one, the little bit of the, it's not going to be a natural edge. I'm just going to make a small bowl. Has some great color in it too, so that's going to be nice. But some of the bark on this piece was torn up a little bit, so I'm not going to do a natural edge on it. So I'm just shaping the outside of it, and we'll get a tenon put down on the bottom of it. And so once I got it trued up, turn the lathe speed up, it's probably about 1200 right here. As I'm going along, I just kind of bump the speed up a little bit as I get it true. So the top isn't flat yet, so it's still a little bit out of balance. But once I get that cleaned up and hollow it out, then I'll bump the speed up to 1500 or so. And for the whole process, I just used the bowl gouge, except for one little spot here where I used the easy rougher to make the tenon. And the rest of it is all done with the bowl gouge. So now that we have that done, it's all shaped, got the tenon on it, we'll go ahead and flip it around in the chuck. It is going to need to dry. I'm gonna let it dry for a few months when I get done here. So I'm not worried about the finish on that or any of that. It's just trying to get it roughed up a little bit and cleaned out so that it will speed up the drying process. I get that bark turned off of there, and then it turned down to the low points on the piece there. So you can see I have another inch and a half or so to go to get down to that point. And once I do my second turning on it too, I can refine that a little bit. We'll get this little nub turned off here and then pull the tailstock away. So when you're rough turning green wood, try and keep the wall thickness and then the bottom of it as well. Try and keep that all as consistent as you can, because it's all going to dry a little bit differently. And if you have the wall thickness different from the bottom of it, it's going to dry faster on the walls and slower on the bottom, and it could cause cracks. So try and keep it as even as possible when you're doing green turning like this, if you're going to do a second turn on it later. So I left the wall thickness maybe 5/8, 3/4 right in there. And it's a fairly small bowl, so it's the larger you go, the thicker you want to leave it, because there's going to be a lot of movement. So when I do put this back on the lathe, it's all going to be out around, and you want it to, you know, when you turn it on, you want to have enough wall thickness there so that you can actually turn it round and not have one side come way in on you. And again, it's just a bowl gouge. I think right here I have lathe speed up to 1500. Just getting it cleaned out, and I stopped it a couple times to make sure that the walls were even all the way around. All right, and to get it dry, I'm going to pack all of the wet shavings in a paper sack, throw the bowl in the middle, and pack some more on top of it. So what this does is it slows down the drying process. So the moisture from the bowl is going to go into those shavings. The shavings dry faster, but it's going to slow it down enough to hopefully not crack. So it just kind of, if you were to just set this out on the floor, it would probably be cracked by morning, and this should help it out. So just grab some of the shavings off the floor too, taped it shut, and I'll check on it every probably once a week or so, and rotate it around in the shavings so that shavings can soak it up. And it's a great way to dry green wood. You can do this in rice too. There's a lot of different ways to dry bowls, but this is just one of them. I've had good luck with it, so I'm sticking with it. All right, I got it in the bag, so I just set it over there up against the wall. So I will pull that out every week or so and rotate it around in those shavings. So if you haven't done this before, you'll notice when you open it up, the shavings right around the bowl are wet and the shavings on the outside are dry. So rotate those around so you get the dry shavings around the bowl again, and it just slows down the drying process. There are a lot of different ways to dry green turnings like this. There's silica. I've even tried rice, and it worked really well too. The shavings are just kind of nice. You just pick them up, put them in a paper sack, and it works really well. I'm going to say 9 out of 10 times it works out. So yeah, that tree was huge, and there were the whole crew came over there. They just started hacking the tree down, and there were a bunch of pine trees and stuff over there too. So I ran over there and I go, "Can you set some of the pieces of the limbs aside?" And I took the hand truck over there and wheeled them back home. So I got I think six or seven chunks out of the limb that I'm gonna do stuff with. I'll slowly dry some of them for boxes and things like that. But for a bowl, quick way to do this, you still have to let it dry for a few months or so, but is just rough turn it like that and it speeds it up. So just drying wood in general, if you're going to air dry wood, it is about 1 inch per year to dry. So if you had a bowl blank like that, it's several years to get it to dry, but if you turn it, you can speed up the whole process down to a few months. All right, hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions about it, please leave them below in the comments and I'd be more than happy to answer them. All right, take care and we will see you next time.